September 10th, 2023, Las Vegas Strip. Inside the MGM Grand, slot machines freeze mid-spin. A blackjack display blinks out, wiping a high roller's $50,000 win. In the lobby, hundreds of guests stand in line because digital room keys have stopped working. The entire $14 billion MGM Resorts empire has been reduced to pen, paper, and panic. 11 days offline. $100 million lost. One 5-minute phone call. But how can one phone call black out the Las Vegas Strip? And who hacked them? 4 days earlier, in a modest suburban bedroom thousands of miles from Vegas, a 19-year-old hacker takes a breath and dials a number. He's one of a loose crew of English-speaking teens and 20-somethings who congregate on Telegram under the moniker Scattered Spider. His target? MGM's IT help desk, the weakest link in a $14 billion empire. The young caller has done his homework, he knows MGM uses Okta for identity security, and he's armed with a script of his own. But there was one thing he knew that MGM didn't. He speaks calmly, with a hint of urgency. "Hey, this is James from IT. I'm locked out of my Okta account and my MFA token isn't working. Can you help me reset it? It's kind of an emergency." On the other end, the help desk agent pauses. It's late on a weeknight. The agent is trained to be helpful, maybe a bit too helpful. The caller rattles off personal details to prove his identity. An employee ID number, a favorite pet's name, the last digits of a phone number. They scraped it all from LinkedIn and old data breaches. The agent, hearing what sounds like a colleague in need, bypasses the usual protocols. What the agent didn't know: he just handed the keys to a teenager 3,000 miles away. A security question or two, a quick reset link, and bingo. The self-assured kid on the phone has bluffed his way into MGM's Okta administrator portal. He can barely mute his mic fast enough to avoid letting slip a laugh. In a Telegram chat, he types, "We're in." A dozen other young hackers scattered across the US and UK light up their screens in response. What happened next would cost MGM more than anyone imagined. This group has pulled off social engineering pranks before. They've hacked telecom companies, critical infrastructure. But a casino? This was their biggest gamble yet. As the help desk agent cheerfully says, "You should be all set now," the hacker grins. MGM has no idea what just happened, but this is only step one. The real break-in starts now. With the keys to Okta, the crew suddenly holds MGM's master keyring. Passwords, single sign-ons, administrator accounts, the digital skeleton key to a fortune. They exchange a flurry of messages. Ready? Game on. In Las Vegas, no alarms are ringing, no guards are alerted. The heist is entirely invisible. And it all began with a polite phone call from a kid. They had the keys. But what they found next would make $30 million look like pocket change. What could be worth more than that? Minutes after the call, Scattered Spider pivots deeper into MGM's network. Through the Okta admin console, they create new credentials for themselves and disable multi-factor protections. It's like a thief not only stole the master key, but also turned off the alarm system on the way in. One hacker, seated in a dim London flat, can't help but whisper under his breath, "Access granted." Now they explore. They slip into MGM's internal systems, servers, databases, cloud drives, leaving barely a trace. The hackers move quickly and quietly, aware that their window might be short. They had 72 hours before MGM would notice. Or so they thought. It's Friday, and MGM's IT staff are wrapping up their week, blissfully unaware that intruders are prowling their digital corridors. In a secure database, the crew strikes gold. Then they found it. The file that would change everything. They find the High Roller database, a treasure trove of the casino's biggest spenders, names, contact info, bankroll figures, even social security numbers and preferences for penthouse suites. "Imagine what this is worth," one of them marvels. Another stumbles upon something geekier, but just as valuable: source code for MGM's slot machine software. The code that controls the odds and payouts of thousands of slot machines now sits in a zip file on a hacker's laptop. It's an ironic twist. Months earlier, some members of Scattered Spider had joked about performing a real-life Ocean's 13 by making all the slots in Vegas hit jackpots simultaneously. They insist they'd never watched the movie. The irony isn't lost on them. That stunt proved too impractical. But stealing the secret sauce behind the slots? That's a close second. Within a few hours, scattered spiders haul balloons to 6 terabytes of data extracted out of MGM's vaults. It's an unprecedented smash and grab. Employee records, customer databases, financial documents, confidential code. If data is the new gold, they've cracked Fort Knox. They compress and copy, covering their tracks as they go. 6 terabytes stolen. But they missed one crucial detail. Occasionally, one hacker issues a warning in chat, "Don't get greedy, move to the next server." The fear of detection looms, but the adrenaline is spiking. Friday night, it's decision time. Stay hidden and steal more, or show them their digital nuke, ransomware. They know one thing. If MGM's security wakes up to them, the party's over. Unbeknownst to the hackers back in Vegas, an IT administrator has noticed some odd Okta activity, an unrecognized device on an admin account. MGM's team begins to stir, a few wary glances at screens. The hackers sense it too. Their silent heist might soon turn into a sprint. One of them types 3 words, "Time to detonate." But detonate what, exactly? And what happens when a $33 billion company realizes it's under attack? Sunday pre-dawn hours. MGM's security team scrambles to isolate and eject whatever intruder they suspect is in their network. In doing so, they inadvertently trigger the trap Scattered Spider has laid. The hackers, anticipating a crackdown, unleash the Alpha, aka Black Cat ransomware they'd prepared. What MGM didn't know, this wasn't ordinary ransomware. One by one, critical systems start locking up. At 6:00 a.m., a database server goes down, encrypted. By 7:00 a.m., slot machine control systems across all MGM casinos blink off, screens going blue with error messages. At 7:15, hotel reservation computers freeze, check-in desks grind to a halt. By 8:00, security feeds, payroll, even the digital locks on hotel room doors are paralyzed. Then something happened that no one expected, not even the hackers. MGM's glamorous resorts are dragged back into the analog age within a matter of hours. Someone just flipped the off switch on the entire Vegas Strip. Through all this, Scattered Spiders members watch the fallout remotely, both exhilarated and anxious. One hacker munches on cold pizza in a dark room, watching a shaky Twitter video of tourists wandering the Bellagio floor in confusion. He can't resist a smile. A company valued at $14 billion brought to its knees by a 5-minute phone call, he thinks. That's one for the history books. Yet this is more than a prank, it's extortion. And the next move is making that known. By Sunday afternoon, MGM's executives receive a chilling message. The hackers introduce themselves under a banner of Alpha and Scattered Spider. They spell out the deal. "We have your data, all 6 terabytes of it. Your systems are locked, pay $30 million in cryptocurrency or else," well, the "or else" would arrive in exactly 48 hours. To prove their seriousness, the attackers share a snippet of stolen data, a spreadsheet of MGM employees with names, social security numbers, everything. The kind of personal info that hits home. It's one thing to freeze slot machines. It's another to threaten to expose thousands of people's identities. This is high-stakes poker, and the hackers went all in. MGM's leadership faces an agonizing dilemma as the sun sets on the Strip. Do we pay and hope to restore operations quietly, or refuse and risk a prolonged blackout and a public breach of trust? It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't wager. And all the while, the FBI is now involved, racing to trace the attackers, even as the hackers taunt MGM through anonymous online posts. The standoff has begun. In 24 hours, MGM will make a choice that costs them $100 million. MGM decides to call the hackers' bluff. By Monday, September 11th, the company publicly acknowledges a cybersecurity issue but stays mum on the ransom. Behind closed doors, they've already told the hackers, no deal, big mistake. The hackers had a plan B that would cost MGM triple. If the hackers expected a quick payout like their last victim, Caesar's Palace quietly paid $15 million just days earlier to avoid this pain, they're now dealing with a wild card. MGM is refusing to fold. The consequences are immediate and brutal. As Monday rolls into Tuesday and Wednesday, the casinos remain partly crippled. For tense days, MGM's IT army works around the clock to purge the ransomware and rebuild systems. Every hour of downtime means millions in lost revenue. VIP guests are offered free suites and meals to soothe their anger, an attempt to stem the bleeding, but it's costing a fortune. Gamblers wander next door to rival casinos. Wedding parties panic as electronic reservations vanish. But the worst was about to happen in the elevators. At one MGM property, elevator doors briefly stop working. Management hurriedly stocks bottled water in elevators, a surreal precaution in case anyone gets stuck. On the casino floors, it's surreal. Slot machines that once jingled with payouts sit dark, their screens reading out of service. Online, the hackers double down. The Alpha, Black Cat ransomware gang posts a blistering manifesto. They mock MGM's incompetence and threaten worse. Their message is clear. If a deal is not reached, we shall carry out additional attacks. The nuclear option? Dump MGM's stolen customer data online. Every high roller's information, 6 terabytes of secrets, exposed. But MGM holds firm. Paying would violate their every instinct and encourage more attacks. So the company gambles on recovery. It's a costly bet. By the end of that week, MGM lost around $100 million, lost gaming revenue, free comps, canceled bookings, not to mention the colossal tech recovery effort. All this to avoid paying a $30 million ransom, a ransom that, even if paid, came with no guarantees in the murky world of cybercrime. The hackers, for their part, leak enough data to show they're serious. A chunk of employee records here, an internal email thread there. They're sending a message, "We own you." It's a battle of wills, stretching day by day with no clear victor yet. As the siege drags on, Vegas officials worry this will become a copycat magnet. Every casino is on red alert. Guests check out early, spooked by the very real demonstration that even the glittering casinos of the Strip can be brought to their knees by kids in hoodies. And Scattered Spider? They're already semi-legendary in underground circles, bragging quietly about how we took down MGM. But law enforcement is hot on their trail. International investigators are gathering clues, and a reckoning is coming. Still, as of that chaotic week in September, the hackers seem untouchable. Ghosts who phoned it in, literally, and made off with a king's ransom of data. It's an unprecedented showdown. Old school Vegas grit versus new school cyber heist. The hackers had one card left to play, and this one would make headlines around the world. What kind of data would make MGM's biggest whales abandon ship overnight? And why did one hacker suddenly go dark on Telegram? By the following Monday, 1 week after the hack began, MGM's teams finally begin to restore critical systems. Slot machines reboot with cheerful chimes, digital keys sputter back to life, and the sportsbooks come back just in time for the next NFL Sunday, battered but operational. MGM announces it will not pay any ransom, framing their stance as principled resilience. For guests and gamblers, life slowly returns to normal. Check-in lines shrink, jackpots jingle once more. On the surface, Vegas glitz triumphs over the temporary glitch. But behind the scenes, nothing is normal. The breach's fallout will take months, even years to fully unravel, from costly security upgrades to lawsuits and regulatory probes. The Scattered Spider crew, emboldened by their success, boast in their online haunts. They are part of a new breed of ransomware affiliate, not 1980s mafiosi or nation-state spies, but kids exploiting corporate customer service culture. They weaponized human trust, turning a help desk's kindness into MGM's Achilles heel. As one cybersecurity analyst put it, a company with tens of millions in security tech was undone by a 10-minute conversation. It's a chilling reminder that in the end, humans, fallible, helpful, overworked humans, are often the weakest link. And these hackers know exactly how to tug that link. In the aftermath, it comes to light that some members of Scattered Spider are astonishingly young. Authorities arrest a 17-year-old in the UK believed to be the very voice who conned the MGM help desk. In the US, a suspected co-conspirator barely out of high school is picked up with $27 million in Bitcoin stashed away. The once invincible Phantom crew is now on the run, their identities unmasked one by one. But for every member caught, dozens more remain in the shadows, learning from these exploits. But one thing is clear. The era of the teenage hacker sticking up multinational corporations is here, and it's forcing a hard rethink of security in every boardroom on the Strip and beyond. September 2023's casino cyber siege thus ends not with a cinematic explosion, but with a wary exhale. MGM's CEO admits in a candid moment, "We were completely in the dark about our own properties for days." The once cocky Vegas titan now wears a scar, visible to all. Casinos, hospitals, banks, everyone is put on notice. And Scattered Spider's message resonates. If we can breach Vegas, where is truly safe?